Hey guys, what's up? It is Coach Pete back again. How y'all doing? So y'all, today we're gonna do something that we haven't did in a while, which is just sit down, just have like a little discussion. Um, as you all know, I am married, and today we're just gonna talk about some tips about weddings. I've been married for 2 years now, and I done had time to go back and just examine everything that had happened, process. Um, and y'all just want to put a disclaimer out right now. These are my do's and don'ts. Everybody have their own do's and don'ts that they would do in a wedding and would not do in a wedding. So y'all can take it however y'all want to. I'm gonna just go put the information out there to help somebody because I know it can help somebody. Okay. Um, and I hope people don't take offense about what I'm going to talk about. Because again, this is my opinion and what I experienced in my wedding. All right. Just want to clarify that. All right. Now we got that out the way, y'all. Let's get into it. All right, y'all. So I really want to talk about a little bit. If you don't know what marriage is, we can get a little bit into that. So marriage is a beautiful thing that God created. And y'all, let me pause real quick because I am going to be giving a biblical stance point of view. Okay? So, like I said, it is a beautiful thing that God created. Even in Genesis 2:24, I believe, where it talks about how God created man and woman. Okay, man and woman. That's what he created. Okay. So it's just a sacred vow or like a permanent vow, whichever, a permanent bond, whatever you want to call it, that he created for man and woman to come together as one. So I'm really excited about marriage, y'all. If y'all don't know, I came from a family that does not get married. My family, they just shack up, boyfriend and girlfriend for 40 years. Like, for me, I wanted something different. You know what I'm saying? Let's set the tone. Let's start something new. Okay? But so yeah. So marriage is a beautiful thing, y'all. Please do not let people tell y'all marriage is a horrible thing. Okay, if you married the wrong person and you doing it without God, I can see how it could feel like it's the worst thing ever. But it's really not. When you have God in the center of your marriage and y'all equally yoked, you and your spouse is equally yoked, it could be a beautiful thing if you allow God to really minister to both of you guys and just allow him to navigate y'all steps throughout y'all marriage. So, point number one we're going to get into is a budget. Please, 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 people, please create a budget for your wedding. With that being said, yes, when you start off, and this is for me, like I said, this is my opinion. When you start off, when I started off, even thinking about doing a wedding, I had these big high hopes and dreams, baby. I was like, I'm getting married here, out of state. We gonna do X, Y, and Z, until I got to looking at them prices. Baby, a wedding is some money, okay? You go spend some money. And one thing that I dislike that really gets under my skin is when people say, oh, I'm just gonna have a big reception and a small ceremony. I don't think you hear yourself right now because if you really did your research, you will understand that the reception is more money than the ceremony. The ceremony is when you just saying, your vows and stuff. People can come in. If you get married at a church, you may have to pay for the church. If you're not a member of that church, you may have to pay. And then if you are a member of a church and they allow you to use the facility, Boom. That's free. Okay? That's free. Now, reception is where you're going to spend the most money. Unless you do it in the backyard. Okay? Now, because the reason why I say that is because you gotta get DJ, you gotta get caterer, you gotta get bar if you want liquor, you gotta get somebody to decorate. You know what I'm saying? You gotta buy the venue. Like all of that comes with the reception. So please, please, please take that into consideration when you and your partner are looking to do a wedding, okay? Take that into consideration, y'all. And then the next note is make sure y'all get 3 quotes from each category. So you get looking at a DJ, get 3 quotes from a DJ, get 3 quotes from a caterer, because these caterers, y'all at least go spend 25 to, I don't know how exquisite you want your meal to be at your wedding, but you can pay from 25 to maybe $50 if you want to, some people want to do steak and prime rib and all that. Nobody got time for that. We are not here to feed you a buffet. We are here to give you a little something on your stomach to celebrate with us, okay? We're not trying to do all that, okay? So make sure that you get 3 quotes. That is my recommendation. Please get 3 quotes, okay? And then also make sure before you even start, have a number and plan of what you don't want to, go over. So if your budget for your whole entire wedding is 10 grand, you need to go ahead and break that down. Okay? Wherever you want to spend the most money at, that's fine. Wherever you want to spend the least money at, that's fine. But you have to start off with a number that you do not want to go over. Okay? Now, that's something that I did not do. Like, for me, I'm a visual, so I have to write stuff out, y'all. So I wrote everything out and I was like, okay, this venue costs this much, and I was going back and forth. And also, trying to figure out which one I really desired the most. And that was going to fit in my budget. Y'all, I ain't know how to do no budget, okay? Like I said, I only had been to one wedding before my wedding, okay? That says a lot right there, okay? So I had no idea how to do a wedding, okay? So yeah, those are my 3 tips. Get a budget. Well, 3 points inside of a budget. Do that, and you should be good, okay? Start there. I promise you guys, please, please, please do not go out there and spend so much money on a wedding, because the day will go so quick. I mean, quick. Please learn from what people tell you guys. Do not do it. Because I was big headed too, and people was like, you don't really want to, it goes by so quick. You really don't want to do that. And I'm like, well, this is what I want. And this is what I'm going to get. No. Okay. Let's not do that. Okay. So, number 2, my opinion. Me, looking back, I would not have bridesmaids and groomsmen. That's me, in my opinion. Everybody had their own stuff. Now, for me, it was just a lot of confusion. Women have attitudes. You really don't want to deal with that throughout the process of you planning your wedding and the day of your wedding, okay? And then, really, like, looking back, I don't even talk to half of my bridesmaids. Y'all, one of them dropped off the planet of the earth, the face of the earth. Like, I can't even tell you guys. And I don't even got no beef for her. Have no idea where she at. Have not talked to her. So, this is why I say I will not have any bridesmaids, okay? And then for me, it's just I could have really just had my sister and my brother-in-law and would have been cool. But like even then, I would have had nobody standing up there if it was me. Now I have seen where some people have had bridesmaids and stuff like that, and they had them sit in the audience. I mean, I guess that's the thing too, but I didn't do that. But for me, I had when I first asked all my girls, it was 9 of them. 2 dropped out. That left me with what? 7. Was that 7? Yeah, seven girls. Okay, that was a lot to deal with. Um, yeah, and a lot of my bridesmaids, bridesmaids are there to really just like help you through the process. Um, I feel like they are there to assist you for whatever you need. And my girls, they were not that. To clarify, I would just wanted them to help more than what they really did. That's what I mean by that. So if you do have bridesmaids, choose them wisely. Choose people that is going to really help assist you um throughout the process. Now, I am going to say that I did have a few girls really, really help me like towards the end, because we will get into that later. But that really, really helped me out at the end run, cuz baby, I tell y'all. Okay. Number 3. We're going to get into number 3 cuz we don't want to have this video super long. But number 3, I won't get no videographer. Y'all, I said I've been married for 2 years. Only watched that video twice. Pay. What did we pay? 18 grand or something like that. 1800, something like that. I only watched the video twice. And y'all know the society now. Everybody got their phones out recording. That's free videographers right there. I mean, it's not like your ideal thing, but like y'all, to save money, because after the marriage, life is going, I mean, after the wedding, life is going to hit. Okay, so please make deductions where you can. This is my opinion to you. This is my wisdom to you. Make deductions where you can. So me, I will not get a videographer. And then another thing, my videographer shots was very similar to my photos. So it's like, why did I pay all that money for a videographer and a photographer? Now, I felt like it should have been way better because we had one videographer, but he had 2 assistants. If you got 3 people taking videos from different angles, I feel like it should be very different. Be very different from the photos. Okay? And then also what people are doing now, which I have found out after my wedding, is people are hiring content creators. Y'all know these TikToks people are getting really big, and you can really just hire one of them to you know, do a video for you if that's really what you want. Okay? That's up to you. Number 4, hire a wedding planner. Okay, hire a wedding planner, or have somebody, a day coordinator, whatever you want to call it. You need somebody that's going to be in control, that's going to be over your wedding day. Okay, like when I emphasize this, I mean get a wedding planner. Unfortunately for me, I had to fire 2 wedding planners. Okay, so the first one, I didn't even, to be honest, the first one I didn't even hire her. To be honest, we was just going through how much it was going to cost her to do what it is that I wanted. And so um during the thing, she made a comment because I said, "Well, I want a sign up saying like no phones allowed." But it didn't say no phones. I forgot what it had. It's a word for it. And she was like, What is that?" And I said, "Well, this mean like nobody can have their phones out. If they have their phones out, then somebody need to go tell them to put their phones away because I'm paying over 2 grand for a photographer and a videographer. I don't need nobody else to have their phones out. No." She was like, "Well, they can just Photoshop the phones and stuff out." No, we're not doing that. I said I don't want it and I don't want it. She was like, "Well, we're not doing that." Hold up, wait a minute, sis. Because last time I checked, I'm hiring you to do a job. I'm paying you. It's the other way around. You don't tell me what we're not going to do. Now, if you had a better solution for that, then yes. But what you're not going to say is, we're not going to do that. And you're not like, no. I told my husband, I almost went off on the chick. Okay. This was before. Yeah. Like, no, we're not doing that. Oh, girl, we don't even got to finish this conversation because obviously you're not going to give me what I want. And last time I checked, I'm the one that's getting married. That's how I felt at the time. And I still kind of feel like that because I don't feel like a wedding planner should be like, "Oh, you're not going to do that." Like, you acting like you my mama. But anyways, then the second one, I had to fire her because she got to talking crazy to my in-laws, and then she got talking crazy to my bridesmaids during my bridal shower. So we had to cut that off because the last thing that I need is for you to be behaving the way that you was behaving on my bridal shower on my wedding day. Because then at that point, then I'm going to step in because it is my wedding day. And it wouldn't be a good fit. Okay. So we just end up firing her 2 months. 2 months. Wait, May, June, July. Yes, 2 months. 2 months. Yeah, I keep saying it. 2 months before the wedding. Before the wedding. Oh my gosh, y'all. So please, please, please get a wedding planner that fits you and your spouse. Well, you and your partner to be, because you don't want nobody that's going against what you want, that's not going to handle things a certain way. Okay. So please really look for a good wedding planner that fits you. Okay. Cause them last 2 months, baby, I was stressing. I end up having to do the whole entire wedding myself. Like, when I say myself, I'm meaning like I had to replan, redecorate the whole thing, go out and buy decorations for a wedding for 200 people. Do y'all know how stressful that is? And this is the time where I thought my bridesmaids would have stepped up and did what they were supposed to do. No. And then y'all, in the midst of that, my car broke down. Y'all. I mean, when I say I was getting spiritually attacked from left, right, east, north, south, and west, I was getting attacked. And the enemy know how, my mind is and how I don't like pressure that much. Like, y'all, I was getting attacked, okay? It was just so much going on with that last 2 months before the wedding. Like, so please just get a wedding planner. Please. Do yourself a favor or hire somebody from the church. And I do shout out to my people at my church New Zion Tabernacle, because the ladies showed up and showed out. They end up helping me decorate the day of for my wedding, which was a blessing. They even allow me use some of their decorations, which I thank God. Looking back, I could. And here is my cake. Y'all, I got my cake from Sam's Club. The ladies at the church made the cheesecake, which was fire. The flowers on the cake was like leftover flowers that I made out of my bouquet. And then y'all can see they just used like little scraps that I had left over to really pull the dessert table together. Like, this is what I mean. I couldn't see the blessings that God was giving me, but y'all, I tell you, he showed up and he showed out in areas that he needed to. I don't know why it's always like that during the blessing. Like, you don't during that time of like worry and stress, you really don't see the blessing that God um put out for you. But looking back, I'm like, baby, look at how God worked that out. Okay. So yeah, shout out to my women at the church. I love them. I love them to death for that, because they didn't have to do that. So I really appreciate them. And y'all, I am gonna have like some photos and stuff throughout this video, so y'all can see like um decorations that I had came up with and stuff like that. And y'all, and a lot of the stuff I got like off Facebook Marketplace. I went to Goodwill. Like, I was trying to find the cheapest thing because it was the last 2 months, y'all. The last 2 months. So, and then number 5, I would say have a rehearsal 2 days or a day before. Y'all, I did not do this, and I regret it to the max. um, cause I was like, well, it's gonna be very simple. And mind y'all, like I said, I don't know anything about weddings. This is what I was thinking in my head by myself. Um, I was like, well, it's simple, like. And then I was thinking like, oh, we have the venue from morning to all the way till midnight. So we could do, the rehearsal in the morning of the wedding. Let me tell y'all, don't do that. Let me help y'all right now. Do not do that. Y'all. When I say stress, STRESS, stress to the max. Y'all, the day of your wedding is when you supposed to be sitting there getting pampered, relaxing, talking to your bridesmaids, chit-chatting it up, laughing, kikiing, ha-hawing. I was running around the day of my wedding because I was trying to tell the ladies, this is how I wanted this. This is how this is supposed to go. This goes over here. And this is why I say you need a wedding planner. A wedding planner, a coordinator, somebody that knows what's going on the day of the wedding and what it is that you desire for the day of the wedding, right? So please have that. Also, it was like so many questions getting thrown at me the day of the wedding. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I had talked to my sister about some things and how I wanted things, but it was only so much that she could remember. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, if somebody else come ask me one more thing, I was gonna pop off. Uh But yeah, and then also have a timesheet. This will probably also help your bridesmaid or whoever is helping you coordinate that day. Have a timesheet of stuff how you want it to be laid out. I had thought about doing a poster display of how like I wanted the tables and stuff set up, but I literally ran out of time, y'all. Like, when I say the last month, I had just to, at that point, I was just like, it is what it is. This is what it's going to be, and I don't care. I just want to get married, and I don't care if nobody show up. If it was just me and my husband there, well, yeah, now he's my husband. But if it was just me and David there at the altar and the bishop to marry us, the officiant, I would have been cool with that at that point, because I was just so done. Like, I was worn out. Like my bishop has just talked about this Sunday. When you are in spiritual warfare, you are very fatigued. Like, the enemy be trying to wear you out, and you need proper rest. And baby, when I tell you rest was nowhere in that last a month, nowhere. So I was like over it. I didn't care what was going on. I just wanted to make it down the aisle and get to my husband and say I do. Okay, that's all I wanted. So please have a rehearsal 2 days or a day before, so that way it don't be so complicated. And then number 6, bring a fit for the reception. Y'all, I said that I was going to bring a fit, an outfit for the reception. Y'all, I forgot it at home. So I had to walk around in that heavy dress all day. And I knew I was going to be cutting up on the dance floor, because I love me some line dances. Baby, when I tell you I can feel the sweat dripping down my legs underneath my dress, please do yourself a favor and bring an outfit for the dance party, or whatever you want to call it, the turn up, the dance party, whatever, for after, okay? Because whoo, carrying around that dress all day, y'all, oh my goodness, it was a lot, okay? And y'all, let me tell y'all, like, with the situation with my dress, like, even this part right here is a huge blessing, y'all. So it was a week before my wedding, right? It was like Monday when I got this phone call, y'all, about my dress. So come to find out, the place that I got my dress from ended up closing because of the lady was doing fraud, right? Exactly. So y'all, I did my last dress fitting like the 2 months out before the wedding date. I did my last dress fitting and all that. They altered whatever they needed to alter. So she was like, "Well, do you want to take it home?" I said, "No, I'll leave it here and I just come pick it up, the that Friday before the day before the wedding. So that they can have it steamed and nice and fresh. You don't want no wrinkles in your dress, right?" So it was already ready, y'all. All I had to do was go pick it up Friday. And the wedding was the next day. Y'all, I got a phone call about Monday. Well, actually, I seen it on the news saying that the place where I got my dress from closed. On the news, like, it was closed. They wasn't giving nobody their wedding dresses, whether it was ready or not. Y'all, a week before my wedding. It's Monday. My wedding is Saturday. And they talking about they are closed. They are not giving anybody their dresses. Whether you pay for it, payment plan, any of that. They were not going to give you your dress. Mind y'all, they did not give nobody a phone call. I found out all this online through a news article in Facebook, which is ridiculous. When I say, this is why I tell y'all, the level of stress that I went through with my wedding, outrageous, okay? I couldn't even like put in words how nervous I had got, so sick to my stomach, because I'm like, here it is, days out before my wedding, and you tell me you're not going to give me my dress, and it's already ready, like it's done, like all I had to do was pick it up. Y'all, let me tell y'all how good God worked. So Wednesday, I got a call from an unknown number, and I'm like, who is this calling me? They was like, hello, is this Precious? I'm like, yes, it's she. And it was the lady that altered my dress at the bridal place. She was like, did you hear about what was going on? I said, yeah, I did hear about it. And I said, I am very stressed because all I had to do was pick up my dress. And now they talking about they not going to give nobody their dresses, right? So she ended up calling me. She said, well, I have your dress, with me. And I said, oh my, y'all, I busted out in tears. She was like, when can you meet me? Right? So I'm like, girl, I can meet you whenever. Because she did not have to do that. She said, before, when we found out at work, she said, I grabbed your dress because I knew your wedding was this weekend. Y'all, when I say God was doing his big one, even in the midst of confusion, frustration, what I thought was going to be a mess, God really looked out for me, y'all. Like, that part of my wedding, like, I really tell people, like, that was a blessing. She did not have to do that. She did not have to think about me in my wedding before she found out. Well, after she found out, she lost her job. Because really, she could have, like, said, hey, you got to pay me X amount of dollars before you get your dress. She could have did any of that, but she didn't. That's a blessing. Like, y'all, I tell you, like, I ain't even gonna sit here and try to just, put all the negative stuff that had happened out on my wedding. I'm gonna tell y'all about the good parts too, because at the end of the day, God blessed me in so many areas where I didn't even notice until it was over with. Overall, y'all, I really had a beautiful wedding at the end of the day. Everything came together the way God just moved pieces around. It was amazing. Even in the midst of, like, my car breaking down, I was able to use someone else's car to get around to do what it is that I needed to do. Like, y'all, God, he did it. He did a big one. Like, even our house, we had a major plumbing issue in our house during the time of planning our wedding. When I say the enemy was throwing his things to get us to back down, y'all, he did not win. Let me tell you that. He did not win. He forgot who I was. He forgot that I was a child of God. Anyways, let me get to this last point. Okay, I just want y'all to hear the testimonies as well, because y'all know the enemy do not want us doing anything that aligns with God's will for our life. So he's going to do everything in his power, in his little power. In his little power to get us to back down. Okay? That's why we need to stand firm on God's word and make sure our foundation is strong in God too as well. Okay? And then the last one, talking about God. Y'all, I know it's so much we see on social media where weddings look like this and marriages look like this. And baby, let me tell you that all that social media stuff, no, because marriages is work. You're going to have hardship through marriages. Like, that's to be expected. Now, if you think you finna be walking around here in rose petals and stuff like that all day, every day, I'm gonna need you to reevaluate marriage, because it's not going to be that, right? So please, and I emphasize, this is my biggest point. Please prepare for the actual marriage more than the wedding, okay? Y'all know how we spent years and years planning a wedding. But how many years and years and years did you plan on preparing for a marriage? Because after the people are gone, after the dress gone, after the partying's gone, you're going to have to deal with you and your spouse. So I recommend you guys to go to premarital counseling, or even go to counseling. Well, go to premarital and then also do individual counseling. If there's some stuff that you need to work on individually, go seek help, okay? Because that is going to show up in the marriage one way or another. And what you don't want to do is ignore it and think, oh, I took care of it, it's buried. No, because it's going to come up. And when it come up, baby, let me tell you. So please, seek counseling, seek therapy, together and individually, okay? 2, make sure you are, and then also with that, you can do more than just that. You can join book clubs. You can listen to Christian podcasts. Like, all the stuff that I'm listing is going to be Christian-based things. Do podcasts. Go to book clubs. Go to small marriage groups in your church, or find a church that does small groups for married people. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are all things that you can do. And also just being in a community, having a community of married people where you can learn from their experiences. If it talks about in the Bible, sometimes we have to learn from our elders. Some people just want to be big-headed and not listen. Our elders have wisdom. They went through stuff so that way we don't have to go through stuff. And if we take heed to their wisdom, some of the stuff we wouldn't even have to go through. Okay? So listen, ask questions to your elders, okay? Yeah, seek help, look, read, get involved, get hands-on, ask hard questions, okay? Because, baby, ask them hard questions up front. Okay, have them tough conversations, because you're going to have that in your marriage at one way or another, at one point or another. You're going to have tough conversations in your marriage, okay? And I'm saying all this to be real. Okay? So, lesson I'm leave y'all with is just do what's best for you in your financial situations. If you want to have a small intimate wedding, do that. If you want to have a backyard wedding, ain't nothing wrong with a backyard wedding when you get one of them little big old white tents that's beautiful. Get some tables set up and decorate that and have a good wedding. Because at the end of the day, that wedding is going to fly by so quick. Before you know it, it's going to be over with. And you're going to be like, I spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for it to be gone like that. You stress over all this stuff and it's going to be gone like that. So, and then, another thing, a major thing too. Do not go into debt. If you don't have the money, do not do it. Do not do it. Do not go into debt. Now, that's one thing I can say that I did not do, which was go into debt on my wedding. If I didn't have it, those last 2 months, I was at the point where if I didn't have it, I just didn't have it. I didn't care what I had in my mind in the beginning of how I wanted things. If it wasn't there and it wasn't in my price range, then it just was not going to get done. Okay? So please do not go into debt for a party. When you think of a wedding, think of it as a party. For a party where you're feeding everybody else. You're trying to I don't even know the word. trying to please everybody else. Do not do it. Because 9 times out of 10, you're going to be so busy, you're not even going to be able to 100% enjoy your wedding. Because people are going to be up, you know, talking to you, trying to take pictures. You're going to be running here, running there. Save the money. Save the money towards a house, a car, whatever, in your savings account. Because when you get done with that day, life is going to be coming. Okay, and you have to be prepared. All right? So, yeah, do not go into debt, please. And it even talks about, you know, hold on, let me get it. In my Bible, in Luke 14, it talks about, and then, y'all, this is what Jesus said. It was in red. What my brother said, he said it was in red ink, red letters. Jesus said this, okay? He said, don't begin until you count the cost. For who would begin construction of a building without first calculating the cost to see if there is enough money to finish it? And then even after that, he talks about, you know, if you don't got enough money to finish it, people gonna be laughing at you. That Bible verse speak wisdom right there too. Don't start nothing when y'all ain't looked at the whole picture. Calculate everything. Make sure everything is in your budget. If you don't have the money for it, don't do it. Do not go into debt trying to get it. Have y'all ever went to prom? And on prom, you be like, oh, I want this dress. It's so cute. And then after prom, you be like, I spent all this money on this dress to get X, Y, and Z done for a couple of hours. That's how I felt on my wedding day. I spent all this money. Let me stop saying I, because we spent all this money on this wedding day for hours to be gone, for it to be gone. And y'all, life really hit me and my husband after the wedding. With our house, like, we had so much stuff going on. It was like we could have really used that money towards this. Like, so y'all, just be aware of what y'all do for y'all wedding. And I really hope this helped somebody today. So yeah, y'all, just make sure y'all stay tuned to more